Hello and welcome to our Saturdays with Tara Hangout on Air. I'm Mary Beth at the Law of Attraction Club, and we're on the web at theloaclub.com. On these hangouts, we collaborate with our friends Tara. Today's call is call number 10 of our relationship challenge, creating the relationships of your dreams. Today's topic is when to end a relationship and how to go about doing that. If you'd like to get invites to our free open calls, which we offer periodically, and our free letting go process, please go to theloaclub.com. So now we are going to turn the call over to Robin and Tara. Welcome.
Welcome back to our discussions about creating the relationships of your dreams. And as you set about doing that, it leads inevitably to a reevaluation of your existing relationships. And if some of those are troubled, then you end up with the question we posed last week. Is it ever appropriate to just give up on someone? And if so, how do you go about ending it? Let's look at that question again. And let's recognize that there's much that's been written on this subject. In that seeming one world that's out there, there's a ton of how-to books wanting to give you practical advice and real-world answers to these questions. But if you're showing up here, it's likely you're looking for a different sort of answer. So here we are, with no direct earthly experience, presuming to offer you our advice. Of course, we're coming at this from a law of attraction perspective. And when you look at things that way, it changes everything. Many of you are beginning to understand your role in the creation of everything you experience. You're beginning to understand what you quote unquote know about life, about people, isn't the result of observing an external reality. What you know creates reality. What you know comes from making a belief choice and then practicing that way of thinking into the fabric of your being, into the screenplay of your movie. Once you begin to see the world from that vantage point, the answers start to look quite different because the questions have become different. And if you're thinking that your immediate problems are more about getting into a new and exciting relationship or improving an existing one, be aware that we're just using these getting out of one ideas as an example. It's a very poignant example for some of you. And so this will speak directly to you. But the principles apply to everything in your experience. And as we work our way through this, you will see that no matter what your situation is right now, it's easy to translate all of this to your world, the one you're creating. So let's start here. The promise of the law of attraction is that there's nothing you cannot be, do, or have. And here's an addendum to that law of attraction promise. Change doesn't have to be heart-wrenching or soul-destroying. It can be like flowing downstream to a new version of life rather than battling upstream against the current. In fact, if you're battling upstream, you can't get to where you want to go. If you're battling against the current, then you're trying to wrestle that external world into conformity with something that's not in your screenplay. And there's no amount of wrestling on the planet that can accomplish that. Nothing that you want is ever upstream from you. You are the decider, and you decide by making different belief choices and internalizing those into new and different subconscious expectations. Everything always remains a match to that screenplay you're writing vibrationally. If you truly change what you choose to believe about and expect from that particular person in your life, you will change the person, or you will change the person. You will change the person, or you will change the person. In other words, you will change the person because he or she will show up differently, or you will change the person because a different he or she will show up. And if you're really getting all of this, you'll also be getting that it doesn't matter which of those is true. Let's see how this applies to those when to end it and how to end it questions we started with. Let's say you're dealing with this one particular and difficult relationship. If you're starting from a conventional one world view of things, then the truth of the matter is you quote unquote know how they are, and you're not going to change them. So it's come down to a matter of deciding when and how to end it. Once again, if you quote unquote know how things are, then the when should be as soon as possible. Then there's the how. You'll be deciding what actions you need to take and the ultimatums you need to deliver. None of this is going to be easy, but obviously you'll be trying your best to emerge from this with the least angst and as peacefully as possible. Now let's come at this from a law of attraction perspective. That seemingly external world is a mirror of you. From a one-world perspective, that so-called truth from above, the idea that you quote-unquote know how this person or that person is and you're not going to change them, that makes sense. But then we must recognize, as we said above, that what you know is not the result of reality. Those belief choices of yours are the cause of reality. And that means we have a whole new slant on this, because new choices mean a new reality. It's true that if what you know is inscribed on stone tablets, then no change is possible. But if what you know about this person can change, and you do change it, then they will change. They must, because they only exist as your thoughts define them. Let's take this a little further. That seemingly external world is a mirror of you, and therefore, wherever you go, there you are. If you decide to end the relationship, and you do that without changing the vibrational pattern that created it, you may step away from it physically, but you leave yourself on the path of creating and of experiencing more of the same. So you will not have accomplished much. So we say, decide first to change the vibrational pattern. Choose first to answer the question, what do I really want? Answer it at a deep level within you. Leave aside details like who and when, and practice those thoughts into your beliefs and expectations about life. Then, if you like, you may still decide to end the relationship, but it's no big deal, because either way, you are now moving to where you want to be. We're going to take a little time here to get you into a thought process. But let's first be clear about what this process is designed to do. A little earlier we said you might be thinking that your immediate problems are more about getting into a new and exciting relationship or improving an existing one. And we also said no matter what your situation is right now, it's easy to translate all of this to your world, the one that you're creating. Are you starting to see that? The truth is that all of you are seeking better and better relationships, because as you mix it up with those other actors you've invited into your movie, it's more fun and more exciting to do that with people you care about, that you feel a strong connection to. It's deep in the nature of who you are. Good. So we're going to end here with an exercise. But before we do that, we're going to describe the steps. Step 1, we're going to have you take a deep breath, which is always a good way to start because it signals to your subconscious mind that you're stepping in to take charge here. Step 2, with eyes open, we're going to have you look around you. Just let yourself be aware of what you're creating in your immediate surroundings. Aware is a powerful word. Acknowledge is another powerful word. You're not specifically creating the detail of all of that. You've just written the screenplay. And the details fill themselves in line with your now point of attraction. Be aware. Acknowledge that this is your creation. In step 3, close your eyes and ask yourself what you want. What do you really, really want with this person? Whether they are in your movie already and you're inviting them in for the first time. Get into it. Be in it. And if at any point you find that what you know comes crowding in, just be aware of that again and acknowledge to your subconscious that it's an old story and we are writing a new one. Then let it go. In step 4, ask yourself what you have to do now to step into this new but perfectly and equally valid version of the world. And let the answer be absolutely nothing. Nothing except to do more of this sort of new creation stuff, new thoughts that you practice into reality. And step 5, be happy. Relax into peace and joy. So, are you ready? Get comfortable here. Remember, if at any point what you know wants to elbow its way in, just be aware again of that and acknowledge to your subconscious that it's an old story and we're writing a new one, then let it go. Here we go. Step 1, take a deep breath. Let your subconscious mind know you're taking charge here. Step 2, with eyes open, look around you. Just let yourself be aware of what you're creating in your immediate surroundings. Be aware. Acknowledge that this is your creation. Step 3, close your eyes and ask yourself what you want. What do you really, really want with this person? Get into it. Be in it. And step 4. Ask yourself what you have to do now to step into this new but perfectly and equally valid version of the world. And let the answer be absolutely nothing. Nothing except to do more of this new creation thinking. New thoughts that you practice into reality. And step 5, be happy. Relax into peace and into joy. Good. So take this process or use it or adapt it. Make it your own. Just be sure of this. It's all an inside job. You can't get to where you want to go by doing stuff. You're a thought-created entity in a thought-created world. So think yourself to where you want to go. There's no other way to get there. You either stay in a status quo world, creating status quo experiences, or you create something new. Choosing new thoughts is the way you create something new. You can change the person or change the person. And both of those are really the same thing. Then you've created what you want. And it doesn't get to be any more fun than that. Now let's get to your questions and comments.
We do 3 live calls a week for our members on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. Our next relationship challenge call will be on Tuesday, followed by one on Thursday, and then again on Saturday. If you'd like to become a member, go to the loaclub.com/join. So now we're going to go back to Robin and Tara for our longer discussion and Q&A.